little detailing 101. Finding it hard to get a good source on YouTube for this, so I'm sharing what I've kind of put together. So if you need to do like a 3-stage paint correction, you really need to get a DA that is a random orbital DA. If you know what you're doing, you can use something else that spins, but you got to check your RPMs. So anything over 5,000 RPMs is generally going to be too much, 6,000 especially. Most sanders are upwards of like 8 or 10 or 12,000 or somewhere in that range. So even if you have a DA sander laying around, which I did, they're not going to be a safe speed nor dimmable in any way. So I made the mistake of going to Home Depot, found nothing, went to Lowe's. They did a little better, but unfortunately it was pretty late at that time and I was in a hurry and these were in lockup. Now this guy here really whet my appetite at first, and it's because it has the handle as well as like this whole guard comes off. This tool also has variable speed, and the speeds are 0 to 4,100 RPM. So you really could get by with this if you had a good handle on what you were doing, but a DA would always be better. And I played with it for about 5 minutes and determined that I was not about to use that for anything on a car. I also don't know what I would want that for over one of these if I was sanding wood, which I already have something like that is single speed. So this guy is a DA, and oddly, yeah, I don't see the travel there. It's probably listed on the back, but the speeds are an issue. It's 8 to 12,000. That's just not going to work. I turned it on because again, this was in lockup, so I didn't get to see this. I turned it on and turned it right back off. It was just way too fast. No way would I want to use that on a car. So Lowe's really struck out. And they also had, depending on the day, they'll have 1 or 2 or maybe, 1 or 2 of the compounds you need. So when you're doing a 3-stage, you want basically an orange or a red pad, and you want an intermediate pad and then a fine polishing pad, and you want a compound for each of those things. So if you are a professional detailer doing something on top of a clear coat that's fresh, you want a cutting compound and a red pad. But if you're a guy with a car in your garage that needs some touch up, there's not enough clear coat for you to be using a lot of cutting compounds, which is why you won't find them in stores commonly, except for places that are paint shops where they're dealing with clear coat, doing color sanding. So this compound is as close as you're going to get for home, car guy DIY stuff. Something else in this space of a rubbing compound. There's a turtle wax that's in a red paste as well, a heavy duty rubbing compound, and those will do a knockdown job, but you will eat through your clear coat. So you got to really work things properly. Don't ever let the pad dry out. Don't spend too long in one place. Don't spend too long revisiting places. There's a 2 past 10-second rule, I think, is what they say in a lot of the boxes, but don't quote me on that, because I'm still piecing all this together. But what I will tell you is that you do something heavy with your red or your orange, and then you do a polish with your blues, and then you use a wax of your choice with this guy. And long story short, you could drive around to 7 places late at night trying to piece together stuff for the morning project and have it rain on you despite the weather being clear on the forecast. Or you could do what I normally don't do and go to Harbor Freight, where I was able to buy everything I needed for a fraction of the price, including, if you're into it, there's a spray wax that was 25% cheaper there by the same brand, McGuire's. Not what I bought, but I did notice it, and it stood out to me that the prices were significantly better. So this is a good time to bring this up because it's coming up on Black Friday, and this particular tool is on sale right now. It is about 5.5 pounds, 7.5 amps, 2,000 to 4,600 RPMs. The switch is here. It has the minimum speed, and it steps up to 6 with a lock. There's also the power tool lock handle like any other power tool. It does work. It's just a little finicky. And it's got just the right weight, 5 pounds of sitting there, but you will have to have a hand on the other side of it. It's got a long 2 centimeter, 20 millimeter throw, which is probably longer maybe than you should have. But it has a little brother. So this thing was normally 89 and I got it for 79 for a Black Friday deal, which is not fantastic, but it was a lot cheaper than dropping twice that on a Griotto brand, which would be great if I was dollared up for that and doing this all the time, but I'm not. So this guy has a little brother that's in a lot of ways the same. He's 5.7 amps, a little bit lighter, smaller handle. This switch is in the back, somewhat over here, and it is a 8mm throw DA, but it's wouldn't be my choice if both were on the shelf. And if this was not on the shelf, I would go with the little brother and be happy with it. These I actually got, come to think of it, I got those at Ace, not at not at Harbor Freight, but only because I'd gone to Ace on the way to Harbor Freight. I don't know this brand too well. I can't say that I'm crazy about its performance. It's certainly not aggressive stuff, so that's good for DIY. It looks like yogurt or chip dip on that one, so you get like your hummus and yogurt combo, really tasty stuff. Smells like carnauba, and I'm glad about them because it seems like the Harbor Freight section has many larger Meguiar's products, like 2 to 3 times the size of this volume. And, you know, the price is good commensurate to the ounces, but like for a home use kind of situation, if you're not a professional detailer, you're going to have a lot of the stuff laying around. So depending on how many cars you plan to do, you could make Harbor Freight your one-stop shop for everything and save a lot of money, or even spend a lot less time and maybe less gas just getting everything there. But on your way back, head to Costco, get gas at Costco, and buy a bag or 5 of these rags. I use them for everything on my cars, and they're impossible to beat the price on. I downcycle them once they've done, you know, drying. They'll do washing. Once they do washing, they do maybe interior or windows if they're not super dirty, and then I'll eventually use them for grease rags, and then they get thrown away. They don't wash well, but you know, for washing machine, but they are great for washing and drying cars, and they're also nice for wax detailing and final polish and stuff. So one last little word on the Lowe's letdown. These guys, same brand, Auto Spa. All right, now oddly, Lowe's was like $750. And this was like $540 at either O'Reilly's or AutoZone. But notice the handle's round and solid, whereas this thing here is a joke. It's like hollow and all lippy. So like you don't make good contact with this pad, and it's almost as bad as like finger effect when you're doing sanding. For costing more and being inferior, I'm voting with my money and giving that back to them with not a smile. Along with these failures of the whole lockup thing. If you want to treat me like a criminal, I don't really want to do business with you. So anyway, yeah, these were dirt cheap. They're on clearance. So the next time you go, they probably won't have this exact one. The Warrior brand is definitely their bottom shelf, but I've seen reasonable reviews, and I certainly had no complaints using them. But yeah, Harbor Freight came through for all of these things in one stop, and I could have procured any of that stuff there. And the losers this week get all their stuff back if they're overpriced and undersupplied. Frustrating, badly stocked shelves. And a word out there to big stores, big box shops, if you are somehow listening to this, please, for the love of God, when you sell one of these things, sell all of them. People need 3 types of pads. People need bonnets. People need things that are the right size for a DA tool. You need to have a DA tool. If you don't have that at your store, what are you there for? You want me to shop at eBay or Harbor Freight? Because I tried all your stores. So anyway, gripes. Have fun doing your polish, guys.